Hi Cancers, and welcome to your July 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your month ahead of July. I cannot believe we are going into July, Cancers. It feels really wild to me to be already almost halfway through this year. I hope you're feeling really well and are enjoying your season. It's Cancer season. Happy birthday to those of you aging up. Okay, let's talk about the month of July for Cancers. So you've got to kind of distance yourself from the previous way of inviting heavy experiences, okay? The Emperor reversed, Ten of Swords reversed, the Hanged Man coming into your reading. There's just this gaze that you have towards some of the things you've been involved in, towards some of the past choices, towards some of the large time contributions that you've made that may just no longer resonate now, and it's time to really make it easier to simplify the formula of your life. So there's a formula at this point in time, and I feel that possibly there are many helpful, healing, profitable aspects of you that might not be being activated. Okay, so you might have a lot of things deep down that are valuable that you're not really using. And I think that July as a month is really going to just give you a very clear description of what is something more valuable. Maybe for a long time you had been using your skill set in a way that was just making your life easier, and now you can actually start to monetize some of your skills, or you can start to get more back from things that are valuable inside. I just feel like so much is not meeting the outside world at this point in time for many Cancers. And I feel that there might also need to be some kind of regression, actually. It seems that you might have recently had an evolution that actually has taken you into a much more stressful place. And one of the most helpful things for a Cancer person right now might be to actually return or revive what they used to do, or an outlook that actually led to more happiness before. This isn't meant to be anything depressing. This isn't meant to really be difficult. But it's important to not self-nullify. What do I mean by this? It's important to not be in a bad place and tell yourself that it's good just because it's different than what was before, okay? Just because there's more money or just because there's more of something doesn't necessarily mean that it's better or healthier. It's very spiky. It's very tricky to have like really great abundance in one very minute part of life, and then everything else is kind of, off the deep end. That's a very difficult sign right now, and I think that we all have to strive for a little bit more repetition and even a regression into things that we know suited us better before. So I'm also feeling a new 2-year cycle coming in for you. This is just hit me intuitively. I'm feeling that you don't have to make huge changes. I'm feeling that you don't have to deviate. You need some kind of connecting point from now until like 2 years from now. So for any 2-year plans that some of you have been thinking of, like, what am I doing for the next 2 years of my life? What job am I having? What location am I having? This is a really good way to think, because you're actually establishing a 2-year karmic pattern right now. And it's very likely that what you're embarking in especially late July of 2021 is going to be very much prevalent, at least until like 2023. Okay, and you got to kind of think more long-term right now. Watch out for hunching over and only seeing your feet, only seeing, beneath you. Try to really broaden what you're looking at and see a more long-term, like, can I really do this for a long time? Do I need some type of temporary job to get me through? Is there an easier way, a less overwhelming way for me to see my potency, for me to see what I can do? Does this have to be so hard? I think that Cancer has really got to make things easier. You're one of those signs that really is talented at seeing all of the different complex pieces of a formula or an equation, but this year is calling us to really simplify and make it easier, and I think that this is probably the most testing month for Cancer in that regard. Okay, what else do I want to talk about in intuitive messages before we get into the week to week? I love that we're seeing the Hierophant and the Temperance card, as well as Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords upright. There's a much more spiritual acceptance coming in. There's much better health by the end of the month. There's much better evenness. So you are evening out some of the tricky, spiky experiences, and you're in less pain. Okay, you're moving into the month of July with a pain complex, and this lessens by the end of the month through you really understanding what your talents are here and now and accepting the here and now. Try to not be too gosh darn future oriented Cancer. Okay, you're a cardinal sign, you're always looking to that next horizon, but I feel that within that you're also looking down, or you're also not actually overcoming some of the previous dimensions, and you are called to do that here. And by the end of the month, that's going to be really clear. Your popularity is growing this month. Your decisiveness is growing this month. Your spiritual focus is becoming much more front and center. So with that, I would definitely expect a bit of a spiritual shift, thinking more about the water element, thinking more about being near water, being near your own territory, knowing what native territory is to you, like nativity. Where was I born? Where was I brought up? How is that impacting me now? I'm thinking that that's a really big part of your experience, being that it's Cancer season, which deals with ancestry, deals with genealogy, it deals with parenthood as well. Look to your parents, look to the influence that they're having on your life. Also, if you're a parent, look to the influence that you're having on your children's life. Anything revolving around parenthood is a very important area of growth right now, and a very important area of distinction as well. Can I distinguish myself from my parents at this point? Do I see what went well and what didn't? Have I learned from the previous ancestral mistakes? All of this really has to not be a crazy, complicated, wild ride, but needs to be an easy boat into August, because August is going to really pick up the pace for you, Cancer, and I want you to be prepared. I want you to be healthy. Blood work, anything that is diagnosing, anything that is showing and bringing to light the condition that you're in is beautiful in July. So detoxing, blood work, anything that you've needed to do for a long time, dental work, anything that's been needed to be ironed out, having a lawyer look over your business, anything like that is very, very revealing right now. So I would recommend it, as long as you're ready to really see, but there's no time like the present for that. And the worst case scenario for a Cancer ever, regardless of the astrology, regardless of the transits or the timing, is to put off or to procrastinate something that is already in existence. So getting those dizzy spells or lightheaded moments and putting off the blood work, even though you know something's off. Just like having pain in your teeth and choosing not to go to the annual dentist checkup because it's worrying you, but you know that something's off. This is a very strong, prevalent part of the Cancer life journey is, will we actually look at what is off or what is in pain? Will we bring that to the surface, or will we repress that? It needs to come out into the open. Also, anything relating to coming out of the closet, or anything related to honesty, or telling someone how you feel about something, or about the status of your identity, also needs to really be something that starts to see the light now too. Ten of Swords reversed, the Emperor reversed. Some of you are not confident in the identity that you're actually truly are, in the person that you actually are. And 2021 is such a beautiful year for just putting it out there. Like, this is one of the best times in many of our lifetimes, actually, to just really be honest about who we are, and to really, and I mean, it's hard. I know, like, humanity has lived in lies for a really long time. And it's something that we are almost accustomed to genealogically, because many of our ancestors have done this and haven't actually had the ability to not do this. But we have a little bit more ability here and now to really just project our truth and project our honesty and live in that, which is an incredible thing. It doesn't mean that it's easy, and there are people that it's really not easy for. But if you feel any type of secrecy or any type of inability to face people from your past, or inability to seek closure, inability to give closure as well, reluctance to actually complete something, reluctance to actually say, I'm done. that would be something that would be really, really difficult right now. And we need to have the courage and the confidence to, on one hand, know when we're done, and to also then be able to execute that status of doneness, or that completion stage. Again, the Emperor reverse says, I just don't want to put pen to paper. I just don't trust in my executive ability. I know it's there. I know I need to do this, but I don't want to make this happen yet. And I see that very prevalently in a lot of the Cancer people that I know. I also have a lot of Cancer in my chart. And there is maybe a passivity that is always, in existence in Cancer season. But when we get to Leo season, sign of the executive, sign of the monarch, sign of the leader, we have to be prepared. And and I already see you standing in that place, the Hierophant Temperance. The Hanged Man is also coming up there, so you might still be indecisive. But what do you need to do, Cancer? What action needs to happen? This is very important to think about this month. But a stream of consciousness aside, let's look at your week to week. So week number 1, you've got the Emperor reversed, rooted down by 3 of Swords. First week of July. I can't believe it's July. You, in the first week of July, are facing that passivity head on. The status of a broken heart, the state of clinging onto the past, the tendency to allow heartbreak to be your motivating factor in good or bad ways, is something that we're hoping to overcome in the first week, okay? That says that, again, there's just a hesitation. There's a hesitation to really speak the truth, or to really let people know what happened. And if you were able to see my July comprehensive video, I'll link it below. I talked about how we have to know what happened in the past. Cancer rules the past. We have to know what he or she did. We have to know what we did. We have to know what was done. We have to know what actually happened, and really be very weary of false memories, or creating a certain past narrative that suits a current motivation, and really skewing the past. God or the universe or the higher forces really do not favor this type of coloring or past skewing, okay, in order to justify passivity, or in order to justify misbehavior or something like that, or really misbehavior is not the right word, but in order to justify self-betrayal by lying to oneself about what happened, or about what needs to happen because of what actually did not happen. So this is a very important dialogue, and I hope that maybe some other signs are watching this Cancer reading. Comment below if you're not a Cancer watching the Cancer reading. Everyone should watch the sign of the season, because it is collective, it's Cancer season. So of course Cancers are feeling this most, but every sign would probably be able to resonate here. But we have to really get honest. We have to really get real about what happened. And if you've been a Cancer, as I've been this way as well, where you've actually put yourself down in the past, or you have turned the tables against yourself because you believed so much in another person, or because you couldn't accept that someone else actually really did you wrong. If you're a Cancer in that place, we have to really get honest with ourselves and start loving ourselves more, okay? And start doing things in our favor, and stop punishing ourselves. If there's been any kind of problem with the metabolism, or the weight, or the complexion, or the energy levels, it's probably because you've turned the tables against yourself, because you can't forgive yourself for something that maybe wasn't even really your fault in the first place. And of course, this depends on the individual situation. But Cancers, I really invite you in July to turn the tables back, not against yourself, turn the tables back towards your motivations, back towards what you know that you need to do with your life, instead of blaming yourself, okay? Week 2, you've got 10 of Swords reversed, rooted down by Queen of Wands. That is the epicenter of a purging phase. Queen of Wands bringing a fiery element to that sense of betrayal, or that sense of past trauma, and you've got to get it out of your system there. I'm feeling by the 3rd week of July, it's done, it's over, and this reading's emotional. It's done, it's over, and you have got to move on, and you've got to do something bigger, or different, or more wholesome. You've got to really patch up the cracks. You've got to really stop letting yourself slip through the cracks. You've got to really create something solid. And we don't need those holes from the Ten of Swords, you know, creating that insecurity. We need a solid body. We need a solid bank account. We need a solid diet. And we need a solid group of people as well in our court, on our side, to really have a sort of wholesome multi-sector approach to healthy living. All right. It's really important. And I think that we just have to revel in the truths that we have accumulated and in, you know, the honest things, in the real things, in also the previous good qualities as well. Like I remember, you know, hypothetically back 10 years ago, and I really actually was much better with money then, or I was much better with friendships then. And can I now reap a little bit of that, what that was, you know, when I was thinking, I think a perfect thing to do. So especially third week of July, where Cancer is getting anoretic and we're moving towards Leo season. This is very profound. I'm getting full body chills. We have to see like each phase of our lives and what was right. Because here in, Ox year of 2021, stability year, 2-year Taurus energy year, we have the ability, the capacity to take what was right from each sector in the past and group it all together and have this almost like perfect haven of like what the positive aspects of ourselves are. And we can say goodbye, as we've had this eclipse that happened last June, a month ago, that took it all away. And we don't know it yet, but it actually all went away, or a lot of it went away for many people. A lot of the self-shaming, self-sabotage, self-denial, depriving circumstances, cycles, a lot of that went away. And now we can replace it. We can put back the good qualities into their rightful place. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that incredible? That's what the third week to me looks like for you, Cancer, with the Hierophant and the Queen of Swords, putting the good qualities back into their rightful place, being put back into your own rightful place. I wouldn't be surprised if in the third week of July, you're really in one of the best places you've been in a long time. And it might seem sudden, and it might even take about a month, you know, for some of you. So this could even be stretching out to September, like maybe you're in the moving process, maybe you're renovating, restructuring, recycling something, understanding a business structure perfectly, pristinely, proudly. And there's a real strong spiritual significance to it all, and an ability to just know what needs to be where. I think it's beautiful. Week 4, you've got Temperance rooted down by the Hanged Man. We're moving fast. It's really a nice fast ride. It's like a fast current. It's incredible. You have more health coming in the 4th week. You finally got it. You finally figured something out. You finally had that revelation, maybe. And it probably had to do a lot with your body and your diet and your hydration. Pay close attention to the amount of water. I've talked on Patreon in the T-chats about heat waves. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that is, and it's summer, it could be one of the worst summers we've had in a long time. Be weary of being out too much. We need that sunlight, of course, but any type of labor outside, any type of, maybe not knowing when you'll be picked up or not knowing when your transportation is coming is not advisable right now, because I think the heat is going to be very strong. So make sure you're hydrated is really the message coming through. The Hanged Man coming up. A lot of you are just drinking water in the 4th week. That sounds so mundane, but think about it. Isn't it incredible how our bodies work and how we live through hydration? It's a very small thing that needs to be fixed. Like, are you, and even like the speed in which one drinks water. This has a lot to do with our spiritual well-being. If you drink water too quickly, it doesn't absorb and it just, goes straight through. And we want to make sure that we're actually getting the nutrients. Same thing with like eating as well, like eating and drinking at a pace that is actually nourishing of the body. It's wild how that might actually solve some of your past traumas. Whoa, crazy stuff when we start to see the true simplicity of the veil. It's wild. And it's rooted down by the Hanged Man. So there's something about these simple, easy things, about just filing for that business, about just learning how to eat and drink in a way that works with your metabolism, eating foods that actually match up maybe to your ancestry, like what types of foods grew in the place where your lineage is from. That is another very seemingly esoteric occult, but truly very mundane and easy factor into health. What our ancestry ate and drank for thousands of years is very significant to our own health. It's wild. But anyway, Cancers, I see you figuring out a lot along those lines in the 4th week, and congratulations if you are working with the ancestry, learning about your lineage, learning about where, especially the places that your ancestry was for like thousands of years. This is or hundreds of years. It's kind of hard to know about thousands of years because, kind of predates a lot of historical context, but we have a knowledge of it deep within, especially as we supplement that with actual, knowledge that is achievable through some of the incredible conveniences of the now. We can just know where we need to be. Okay, it's very easy. Anyway, Cancers, let's talk more about health and healing through ancestry and some of these aha moments that are coming in your extended reading on Patreon. I invite you all over to the Patreon page to get weekly bonus forecasts. I do weekly forecasts that are only available over there. And every Saturday I do those, and I do the extended readings and also these early, and they're totally ad-free on Patreon. So come and check that out. It'll be linked in the center of the screen and below as well. Happy July, Cancers. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Cancer season. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.